Welcome to another episode of Amantya Podcast Series. We have an exciting session lined up today as we explore the digital transformation landscape and the evolving trends in businesses moving towards cloud computing. The topic of today's discussion is From Legacy to Next Gen, Navigating Digital Change with Cloud. Digital transformation is not just a buzzword, it's a critical strategy for businesses looking to thrive in the modern era. And at the heart of this transformation is cloud computing. But what is cloud computing and why is it so crucial? To help us navigate through the topic, joining us today is Amantya's Director of Technology, Saurabh Gupta. Saurabh is an expert in digital transformation and cloud technologies and is deeply involved in the execution of many projects in the domain here at Amantya. Hi, Saurabh. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Roina. Thank you for having me here.
It's a pleasure to have you here with us.
Same here.
Thank you. So, shall we get started?
Yes, please.
So, my first question to you would be like, can you briefly, explain to us what digital transformation entails for businesses today? Why is it so important?
Yeah, I mean, it has now come to business transfer. I mean, for the businesses, but it eventually started from our day-to-day lives, right? I remember early 90s or mid 90s area wherein we have to stand in long queues for everything, right? Be it like saving in the banks. I mean, you have to withdraw your money from the bank or you have to transfer. That's
Oh
a very
yes, long queues.
long
Yeah.
queues. You have to go to submit your electricity bills or even to book the gas cylinder, right? So you have to everywhere you have to plan for it. I mean, the day was had to be dedicated for that, right?
Correct.
I mean, you would start from booking, you stand for long queues, waiting for your turn, and then the eventual time would come that when you will start seeing things happening around you. But nowadays, I mean, you can achieve and you can do everything from your home comfort. That's because of all this digitization that has happened so far, right? So, I mean, we felt the need of it, and that's where we started getting the things digitized, which is like giving you the power of having the information online with you. And over the period of time, the things have started becoming more and more evolve. I mean, they're evolving more and more because, um, I mean, when you take one step, then you figure out, okay, what are the other steps which can be taken forward and can be digitized so that all your problems and which you can foresee,
Right.
you can target that. And eventually the things are moving towards getting everything digitized, right?
Basically, making life so much more easier
It is,
and
yeah.
organized.
And organized, of
Right,
course.
right,
And
right.
you can manage your time better. Even the business processes that we see nowadays, right? Every day we see that, okay, there are new business processes which are implemented. And it is helping because of all this digitization only. I mean, once the information is there, how you want to interpret that information, how you want to utilize that information, that is the key.
Right.
And with digitization, that's what we are basically banging upon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, sort of one, critical, important aspect of, digital transformation is cloud computing. So, why are companies increasingly? What are the factors, that companies are increasingly adopting cloud solutions now?
There are multiple benefits of going onto the cloud, and I'm not saying that the cloud is always beneficial, but I mean, let's start with finding why the people are moving towards
Yes.
cloud,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So earlier, if I had to run a piece of a software, right, I had to worry about buying the infra or how I'm going to propagate that information, like where my data center is going to be. I mean, where I want to put, how I want to buy that server and
Right.
all. So there was a lot of overhead. There were a lot of overheads, and cloud is basically taking off those overheads by uh, like if I'm a developer, I need to worry about writing the code. I don't have to worry about infra. Cloud is providing me the infra, right? And then many factors with respect to scalability. I mean, once my application is I mean, it is in use and suddenly load rises, right? Earlier, like people have to plan for that, and they had to buy more infra in the organization to deal with the loads that there will be spurs of more load, and then it will go down. And infra once bought, if it is not put on use, it's a idle money, it's a waste till the time it is not being used. With cloud, I mean, it's a shared resource, right? You, when you want it, you will get it. When you don't want it, you can stop taking the use of it, and you will be charged only for the time you are using an infra. So that's a very big reason for people to move to the cloud, where they don't have to buy infra. They have to just pay based on their use. Right. And that's how it is.
That's very, very useful. So, but when we speak about the IT infrastructure, companies usually find themselves at a crossroads. That, should they go in for on-premise solutions or a cloud? So what are the factors which, make that decision for a company?
So, I mean, I kind of touched it in my
Yeah.
previous answer as well. So, when you are an old company, you must have already spent on the infrastructure, but there is a growing need, because of which then you have chosen, like, okay, enough of it. I don't want to spend more on my infrastructure, and my need is growing at a very fast pace. So it's better for me to move to the cloud, where I don't have to worry about this infrastructure. I just pay money. So I will not block my money in buying the infrastructure. But this infrastructure is there with you, right? Now, if you move everything to the cloud, there is a recursive cost, right? By that, I mean, because infrastructure, if you're spending money in the server and whatever services you have built it. It is there with you. So you have to spend a lot of money in buying the infrastructure, and which is there. But in cloud, as the need arises, you're paying more subscription cost, and then you're getting more infra of your need. But your usage, if it is going up, right, in that scenarios, what will happen is, over the period of time, the services cost, if you club it together, that will go very high. Right. So it has to be a decision which should be made very calculatively, right? How much your cost of infra it is, what makes sense to put to cloud, and what is better in on-premise. Right. And that too, I mean, now there are multiple cloud players, right? When you do something for on a specific cloud provider, use the services of a specific cloud provider. If another cloud provider is giving you a service in lesser cost, sometimes if you're using the managed services as like for a specific cloud provider, you cannot switch. Right. So it's better to do everything in a way. Again, there are multiple factors which I don't think we have time to get into those details. But it is always better that you have a ability to switch between your on-premise and cloud, or move between the clouds as well. Right. Okay. So the factors that plays in, right? What is your how is your requirement growing? What are the budgets that you are having? Other factor is, like, if you have a data which is very sensitive, on the cloud, because that's a shared environment, all those security procedures are there, but people are very hesitant, specifically bank and financial institutions, which has a lot of sensitive data, right? So they are very scared and very thoughtful of going into not going into the cloud, but remain on-premise. So these are the major two factors which I think are there.
Okay. So how should businesses approach, their digital transformation journey? Should it be like an all or nothing decision, or can they do it in a phased?
Should always be in a phased manner. I mean, in the technological terms, we say the strangler method, right? So again, we are humans, and we are less adaptive to changes. So if we go all out, right, so it will be very difficult for everyone to adapt to it.
Right.
So it should be a phased manner, and the time should be given, like a specific module to be identified, where more stress is, where the reasons of of getting onto the cloud, like all checkboxes are checked. So we need to identify those first, and then move to cloud, and thereafter the all the what do you say, the accessories or the peripheries of those product or those solutions need to be moved to the cloud. Going big bang is not a good idea, but if you're starting afresh, then I mean the decision can be made at the beginning itself whether we want to be on premise or be on cloud. Again, depending upon what kind of skill sets we have, what kind of infra capacity we have, what kind of budgets that we are handling with.
So a phased approach is always the best.
It is always the best.
Okay. Now coming, focusing on Amantya. So what is Amantya doing in the domain? And if you could share some ways the company is contributing to this shift.
We are basically growing towards making our digital asset library. Uh, One is definitely the digital asset library. Other side is like wherever we need to start a new project, we need the infra to provision. We can automate that also, and we are automating that as well. Right. So automation of the resources, and then creation of the digital library, I think that's a very good step with which we can be more competitive uh, amongst our competitors, and we can churn our development cycles faster. So that's one area that I think that we are going towards. Other than that, I mean, in the telecom domain, we are already having our footprints over there. We are doing a lot of good work over there, wherein we are basically dealing with the core telecom services. I guess very few companies in India at least are in this space where we are.
So before we wrap up, sort of the last question, as we look into the future, what emerging trends do you see in digital, transformation, and how do you see Amantya preparing for them?
Right. So, I mean, the things are already there. It is more about adapting those things in the faster way. One of this is the AI ML, data analytics, right? So on the data analytics side, we are doing very good work with multiple clients at our side. Um, as I said, data is a key. There are multiple ways to interpret the data. That's where we are honing our capabilities, uh, which can help us analyze data faster, as well as giving the right value to the customer at the right time.
Thank you so much, Saurabh, for taking out the time and for your absolutely valuable views on the topic. And it's wonderful to see get an insight into what Amantya is doing in the domain. And that concludes this episode of Amantya Podcast Series. Thank you for joining us, and do stay tuned for more such insightful discussions. We shall be back soon with another interesting topic and discussion. Until then, this is Rohina signing off. Bye bye.